All right, we're here with update 3.0 highlights. As usual, I have not looked at this at all. We're going to kind of jump in here and check it out together. The scroll bar over here is pretty small, so it seems like there might be a lot to go over here. So we're going to try not to take too long. I'm also going to try to make sure I keep it lined up here. All right, so long-awaited Doom Tower is almost ready to go live. Update highlights will include an explanation, yada, yada, yada. Additionally, we'll showcase new champs, both the ones you can win in Doom Tower and ones we'll release for the coming holidays. Oh, okay, sweet. Updates. Blah, 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 blah. Some underperforming artifact sets went through. All right, let's go. Sounds like a big one. Doom Tower. All right, basics. We know the basics of the Doom Tower. Every 30 days it resets, blah, 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 blah. We get it. Golden keys and silver keys will be added to the game when Doom Tower goes live. Golden keys will be required to access a floor for the first time. Silver keys will let you access secret rooms or replay boss floors you have previously completed. In both cases, the key will only be subtracted from your total if you successfully complete the floor. I dig that. I like that. Neither golden nor silver keys can be purchased. There's a limit of 10 keys on both, and it resets every day. However, if you receive these keys as a reward for in-game activity, they will be available for you to use before the next reset. Okay, and there's what the keys look like. Dope. Floors have a classic scheme. Your champions fight through 3 rounds of enemies, while every 10th floor will be a boss. These bosses will be different. Power will scale. Makes sense. Secret rooms will pose an additional challenge that requires specific conditions, using champions of a specific rarity type or faction. Indeed. Here's a little picture of it. For anybody that wants to see a little picture of it, you know. Alright. We'll release a video guide in a few days, give you an update, unique insight on bosses. Alright, yeah. Man, he looks cool. Looks cool. Alright. Rewards. Under the rewards, completing a floor for the first time will earn you a set reward that cannot be farmed again before the reset. Beating boss floors will reward you with materials for the artifact forge, and each boss will reward materials for it. So are they adding these sets to the forge? Interesting. Okay, so fatal, attack, and crit rate. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to get these all in the shot. Untouchable. So it's an immunity set with resistance. That's pretty nice. I still think immunity could use a tweak. I don't think immunity is good enough in this game, especially to justify being a 4-piece set. But adding the resistance to it is an interesting take. The little claw. All right, next we've got Affinity Breaker. It's a 4 set. Crit damage plus 30%. 20% chance to deal a critical hit instead of a weak hit. This is a really strange set to me. This is a strange set. I will be interested to see how this plays. 20% chance to deal a critical hit instead of a weak hit. This seems like it gives you an opportunity to take someone like a Septimus into Dragon 20. You know, I've wanted to use him in Dragon 20, but he's off affinity, so he weak hits too much. So does this mean you don't even have to build crit rate? Basically, taking someone in, it's still only a 20% chance, though. 1 in 5. I still don't know that it would be consistent enough to like truly build around. It'll be interesting. It looks really cool. It'll be interesting to see how that translates into action, because I'm not sure about that. I see the potential, but I don't know. 1 in 5. I don't know. Frostbite. It's a 2 set. 15% chance to resist freeze. And it's a 2 set. 10% chance to place a freeze on the attacker. Wow, okay. So you can get up to a 45%, almost half chance to resist a freeze and 30% chance to freeze your attacker. In addition to artifact materials, you'll be able to enchant fragments by completing secret rooms. Alright, sweet. That's an interesting set right there. Because I actually am a fan of a frost set. I like the frost set. So that's an interesting... I dig that. I kind of dig that. I'm going to be honest about it. Alright, let's see if I can get all these champ skills in here. There's our picture. THEA, the Tomb Angel. Force, Knight's Rev, Force, Lego. Attacks 2 times at random, 75% chance of placing Hex. Oh, they're bringing Hex to us. She's not a boss, right? She's a champ. These are the champions who can be collected. Yeah, okay. So they're making Hex a debuff we can use. Each critical hit decreases the cooldown of the Not This World skill, okay? Attacks, Ascended, attacks 2 times at random, Hex. This debuff cannot be resisted. Wow. Each critical hit decreases the cooldown, okay? AoE increases by 50% for each Hex debuff. What? Doesn't that already do that? Stacks up to 300%. Holy shit, dude. That's gonna really hurt. If her multipliers are at all decent, that's gonna be a ridiculous skill. Places Perfect Veil on herself for 3 turns and grants an extra turn. And then her passive, 50% chance of placing True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn when an enemy loses 30%. Ooh, she's disgusting. She is disgusting. Let me scroll down a little bit so you can see the rest of that. Yeah, she's gonna be gross, dude. That's gonna be a problem. Cause she's going to take away more like more than 30% of their HP when she hits them with that A2. She does have to get Hex up to do it though. So at least it's not like a 1 turn or a turn 1 destruction. She does have to set it up. So at least there's that. But that's when you're able to land that, that's gonna be gross. She's gonna be a good nuke. A new legendary orc. A support force. Alright, we're getting some force champs. Attacks 1 enemy, 50% chance of placing a leech, 50% chance for 2 turns on 2 random enemies if the champ has full HP. Okay. A2, 60% chance of stealing 2 random buffs, 60% chance of decreasing turn meter by 50, steals 50%. So if he's got full HP, he's doing extra stuff, okay. Attacks all enemies 2 times, 75% chance of AoE. Alright, so we got an AoE defense break here. The first hit on each target also has a chance of decreasing turn meter. Second hit on each target will place a weaken if champ has full HP. Alright, so we've got another AoE defense down weaken. With potential turn meter knockback, which is very handy for Spider. And then the passive down here. Gotta get this in the shot. Whenever 4 or more buffs are placed on the enemy team in a single turn, places a shield buff on this champion equal... Okay, fine. That's great. Interesting. So we got another AoE defense down weaken, and some other fun stuff going on there. Turn meter steal, buff steal, leech. I dig it. I dig it. Alright, next. Urust, the Soul Cage. That's an interesting picture. I'm excited to see what that champ's gonna look like, because they go ham on the demon spawn champs, man. They always look good. So it's a void demon spawn HP. Attacks when enemy places shield buff on this champion equal to 10% max HP. Shield value increases by 1% for each poison debuff on the target. What What are we doing here? Is this a clan boss thing? No, okay. AoE, decreasing turn meter. Also 75% chance of decreasing speed. Under 2 or more. Chance of placing a stun. Alright, so you're gonna want like a Taurus paired with this one or something. Someone that does a lot of poisons. Okay, interesting. Third skill, places a 25% strengthen on all allies and an ally protection on all allies. Alright, strengthen and ally protect. And then down here we got 50% chance of placing a 5% poison on the attacker for 2 turns when attacked. Whenever an ally is attacked under a strengthen buff, chance of placing a provoke on the attacker. Increases this champ's max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion. I don't know that I've seen increase his max HP. That's interesting. Whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion, also decreases their max HP by 5%. Cannot decrease a single champion's max HP by more than 25% in one battle. Will not decrease boss's max HP. Cannot increase this champion's max HP by more than 50%'s beefy though. So it seems like there is some interesting clan boss, at least some potential for something interesting to be done in clan boss. Poisons every time he's attacked. Increases his max HP every time he's attacked. Continues to put shield buff on himself every time he A1s. Has a strength and an ally protect. None of this will work on the clan boss, but the rest of it seems kind of interesting. There's other utility there too, but... Oh, he'll be an undead horde, not demon. I thought it looked like... I was getting undead vibes. Still, undead always look good too, but... undead, not demon spawn. Alright. Royal Archmage. Banner Lords. I thought it was a dwarf. Attacks one enemy, fills turn meter by 10%, 20% if he crits. Attacks one enemy, also AoEs if the first attack is critical. Each hit has a 50% chance of stunning. After attacking, decreases turn meters of each enemy without a stun by 20%. Okay. Speed buff, crit rate buff, and crit damage buff on all allies. That's pretty dope. Immune to turn meter decreasing effects. And an arena speed lead. Okay, I dig that. That's not a bad little epic. That's fun. That's a nice setup of buffs there. And can't be interrupted by a Valkyrie. I mean, the rest of the team could, but like, if you wanted to fit him in as a second part of your cleave after the booster for some crit rate, crit damage buffs, Valkyrie can't screw him up. She at least can't throw that turn order off. After the patch release, the name of this champion would be ARCHMAGE. Oh, okay. Inferno Golem. That looks good. So we got a decreased crit rate debuff on the A1, AoE HP burn. Okay, good. We could use more of that. An epic AoE HP burn. That's nice. That's gonna make Spider. That's gonna open up Spider a bit. Attacks all enemies, 50% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all skills by 2 turns. Also places shield buff equal to 20% of this champ's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. Instantly activates a skill when this champion is revived by elemental Oh, we've got some synergy here. Okay. Alright, cool. 10% chance of placing fear debuff on an enemy for 1 turn whenever they receive damage from an HP burn. Debuff placed on themselves. %10 chance of placing a fear debuff on an enemy for 1 turn whenever they receive damage from a HP burn debuff placed on themselves. Is that just worded weird? What does that mean? I think that just means if they have any... I feel like that's just worded a little strangely. I don't know how they would place an HP burn on themselves. Who's doing that? And then HP in all battles 25%. Yeah, this is nice. We got some spider. That opens up spider a bit, I think. And then the champ under it. Oh, the name of the champ will change to Akoth the Seared. All right, Elemental Conjurer is the one it said that he had synergy with. Block buffs on the A1. AoE buff strip. And weaken, okay. Revives a dead ally with 50% HP, then fills the turn meter by 50%. Will then also place block debuffs on them for 2 turns. Will also revive Inferno Golem and Ural Soul Cage with 30% HP. If they are on the same team, I'm assuming is what that's supposed to say, and not the target of the skill. Will then also fill their turn. Jesus Christ, man. If either Inferno Golem or Ural Soul Cage are the target of the skill, that champion will be revived 50% HP, 50% turn meter, and a block debuffs for 2 turns. So then they'll just get what the skill is. I feel like this part is unnecessary. I don't know, maybe it clarifies. And then an accuracy lead. Alright, I dig that. After the patch release, the name of this champion will be... Alright, they're changing all the names. What are y'all doing? Every player who completed floor 10 will get a placement in the Doom Tower rankings. These are separated into the following categories: Global and Clan. Alright, that's fun. The rankings are further divided by difficulty. Completing Doom Tower floors will reward ranking points and increase your standing, much like what you see in tournaments. When the Doom Tower resets, the game will display a pop-up with the current rankings. Highlight the most successful players. That's fun. Who is this? Oh, just new champs in general. Look at, man, that looks cool. Interested to see that. I hope that's not just like a Yannicka touch-up, you know what I mean? Attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing Veil buff on a random ally, okay. Places defense buff and continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies under freeze debuffs. Places weaken for 2 turns on enemies under freeze. Attacks 5 times at random. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a freeze. 100% chance of placing a freeze on enemies that receive 2 hits. Alright. Passive. Whenever an enemy places a freeze debuff on an ally, has a 20% chance of stealing the freeze debuff and placing it on this champion instead. Has a 25% chance of filling this champ's turn meter by 25% every time they receive a freeze debuff. 35% chance of removing any freeze debuffs at the start of every turn. If there are multiple champions in the team with this skill, only one will activate. And then a resistance lead. Okay. Cool. YAKARL, the SCOURGE, new Barb. I am so excited to see what these champs look like, man. That's a lot of skills. Attacks one enemy. Each hit has a chance of placing a freeze. Will ignore shield buffs if 1 or more enemies are under freeze. Will also ignore block damage buffs if 2 or more enemies are under freeze. Will also ignore 30% in defense if 3. Alright, so with Shiramani, it's going to be and potentially the other one. That last new one. But yeah, Shiramani is going to be a good pair for this one. Attacks one enemy. 75% chance of placing decreased speed debuff for 3 turns. And 75% chance of placing a freeze. Also steals turn meter and puts increased speed buff on this champ for 3 turns. Third skill, attacks one enemy 3 times. If the target is under a freeze, removes the debuff after attacking and places it on all enemies except the initial target. That's weird. Will also attack all enemies except the initial target after the 3rd hit. Dead gum, dude. Passive effect. Decreases the damage this champ receives by 10% and increases the damage this champ inflicts by 10% if there are 1 or more enemies under freeze. So you're definitely going to want Shiramani here. Increases this champ's speed by 15 and resistance by 50 if there are 2 or more enemies under freeze. Places an unkillable buff on this champ for 2 turns whenever there are 3 enemies under freeze. And then a Doom Tower attack lead. Okay, nice. I dig it. I dig it. We got Akhak, the Windarin. This is a lot of champs, dude. This probably should have been a whole different video. Attacks one enemy. 30% chance of decreasing the duration of 1 random buff. Target is under HP burn. Yeah, so they're trying to introduce a lot of HP burn and freeze stuff. Block debuffs on all allies. Strengthen on all allies. A3 AoE. Chance of freezing. Whose attack is higher than their defense. Placing HP burn on defense higher than attack. Heals all allies by 5% of their max HP every time an enemy under HP burn gets a turn. Fills the turn meter. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And then increases ally defense in all battles. Alright. Alright, we got Bigfoot here. Grunch Killjoy. Obviously supposed to be the Grinch. But that's dope. I'll take that. I'm cool with that. I'm down to have the Grinch in the game. Support Ogren. Attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing block buffs. A2 is an AoE, 50%. Oh, we got a new bomber that detonates after 1 turn. Interesting. An epic AoE 1-turn bomber. Nice. That's got some potential to be nasty. Hex Eater removes all debuffs from all allies, then places a continuous heal on each ally for every debuff. Dude, what is... Alright, so the attack has to be low. The attack is going to have to be low here. Because that's good. A full cleanse with continuous heals for each debuff removed. And also AoE 1-turn bombs. Interesting. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% whenever a bomb debuff detonates. That is dope, dude. Defense and Faction Wars. What an interesting kit. What an interesting combination of skills for a champ to have. That's cool. I like that. I like that. And I like that. Artifact rebalance. Let's go. We've updated 8 underperforming artifact sets to ensure you have more gearing options for your champions. No matter whether you are a new player making do, lemon, blah, blah, blah. All right, we get it. So retaliation, 35% chance to counterattack, up from 25. All right, fine. Regeneration, heals by 15%. I don't think that's going to change much. I don't think that's going to change it much, to be honest. Because you can put immortal sets and get like 9% every turn, not to mention 45% to your HP. I don't think that's going to be enough for regeneration. Toxic, 75%. Nope, not going to matter. That's not enough. It's a 4 set. No one wants to dedicate a 4 set to 2.5% poisons. This isn't so far. This is not good. Reflex I already liked. I'm not opposed to them up in the set, up in the percentage though. 40%. It's also 1 cooldown on 1 skill, so it could probably even be a little more, but that's fine. Avenging, 45% instead of 30. This is stupid. It's a stupid set anyway. Destroy, 40% instead of 30. This is not good. These were not good changes, in my opinion. 75% up from 50. This is stupid. Make it 100%. Like, it's nice that it's 2 turns now. You're not making these sets better. You're upping the chance to do something no one cares about anyway. You know what I mean? Curing set. Nah, I don't know. I'm not into the artifact rework. I think it needs more. I think more needs to be done to the artifacts, but I appreciate that it's being done. I don't necessarily think it's going to matter. I don't think these sets are going to get used anymore. I don't think the problem with Toxic was the chance. I don't think the problem with a lot of these sets was the chance to do the thing. I think the problem with these sets was the thing that they do, right? This is not worth not using immortal sets. You know what I mean? Toxic, it doesn't matter. It's the 2.5% poison that people aren't into. It's that Retaliation and Avenging are basically the same set, because you're almost always getting hit with critical hits anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, especially in PvP particularly, but yeah, I appreciate that it's being done. I think it's gonna need another revisit. I think they picked the right sets. I just don't think they did the right things to them. So that's it. Beefy, lots of champs. I'm excited. The Grinch one, I think the Grinch one might be the one I'm the most interested in. I like that combination of a bomber and a support. I think that's kind of cool. So, yeah, interested to know what you guys think. There's a lot to unpack here. Are you getting stoked for Doom Tower? Did any of the champs stand out to you? Any of the new gear sets stand out? What do you think about the gear rebalance here? Is there anything that you think is good? Maybe I went over it a little too quickly, and you think something will stand out a bit. I don't know, maybe the 20% instead of 10% on the curing set would be good for someone like a Vrask, but I don't know. I still don't know if that's enough, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays. But yeah, I'm pumped. Overall, I'm pumped. I think a lot of that looks really good. I'm interested to see what Doom Tower's like, and yeah, I'm stoked, man. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you watching. See you later.